doing here?
Let your living water flow over my soul. Let your Holy Spirit come and take control.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine, your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and CoraleeKaren, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, and we'll all sing there outside. Just us in the sky.
It's another Mindful Monday, and coming out of the weekend, and well, hopefully the weekend was relaxing and it was meditative. It gave you an opportunity to rejuvenate, revive your both spiritual and physical self, and so it is therefore instructive that we celebrate mindfulness on this Monday. How is the morning going for you, Lady Elise and Mikey G?
Well, I'm going to take it in order. I'm going to say I'm waiting until Lady Elise answers, then I'm going to tell you mine.
Put on the spotlight about a special and pleasant Mindful Monday to our listeners and viewers from all over the world. Welcome to the breakfast hour.
Well, today I will tell somebody this morning that my Monday, is one of those Mondays. This is a miracle Monday in a lot of ways for me. Mindful about the miracles that God has done. And I'm telling you, this morning we have a lineup for you that you would love to hear. And I hope you can participate. Of course, put your comments in the description below, in the comment box below when we're finished or while we're going on with this program. I hope you're going to be enjoying this one. Of course, I am already enjoying it. I want to say good morning to all our peeps. If of course you just joined us for the first time, like, share, and subscribe to this channel, to this media, Flashpoint Media. And of course, go to our radio that plays all day, www.flashpointmedia.ky, and listen to our radio all day. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification button, guys. Tell it to somebody. Alright, so it's Mindful Monday. It is Mindful Monday as according to the Lady CoraleeKaren this morning. CoraleeKaren, why Mindful Monday?
Mindfulness is being cognizant of your state as it is right now. It's taking time out. It's almost like a wusa moment, allowing yourself the opportunity to be reflective and almost a pause in the busyness that goes on every day. So it's like taking back a moment to recalibrate, if you will, what's going on so that you can start again.
Many things are happening around the world today. Lady Elise, I don't know about you. What about Mindful Monday that resonates with you?
Well, as CoraleeKaren said it so well, it's an opportunity for us to pause and reflect. You know, so often we are caught up with all the activities that sometimes we do not plan ourselves, but are planned for us, and we have to proverbially get on that hamster wheel and get spinning. And so it's an opportunity for us to reflect and just be cognizant of where we are in all aspects of our life, the mental or physical or spiritual, and take care of that temple. It's a very important concept to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in your situation, because you can't just get on that hamster wheel, Mikey G and CoraleeKaren, and just get running, because these things are all laid out for us.
Yeah.
I can tell you it's not an easy thing to see. I want to put something on this morning. I want to share with you. Of course, we should have gone to our devotional, but I want to put on a clip for you, and then we're going to come back to our devotional right afterwards.
Be honest enough to tell you that I'm worried about America. Yeah. I'm worried about our nation because it's sick with racism still. Just think about the fact that we live in a nation which was founded on the principle that all men are created equal. And yet men are still arguing over whether the color of a man's skin determines the content of his character. And I believe that the Lord told me to say to the United States of America that it's sick with militarism and it's sick with excessive materialism. Have you ever thought about it? There are between 38 and 50 million people in the United States of America who are poverty-stricken, making income less than the poverty level. And yet, this is the richest nation in the history of the world. Our national gross product this year will go beyond $800 billion. And yet, there are between 38 and 50 million people who are poverty-stricken. Now, there's something wrong. A lot of people are afraid to say it. But I don't mind saying it. You see, somebody said to me the other night, don't you think, Dr. King, you are going to have to start speaking more in terms of the administration's policy? Because since you started talking against the war in Vietnam, it's hurt the budget of your organization, and people who once respected you don't respect you anymore. And I had to look over and say, sir, I'm sorry, but you don't know me. I'm not a consensus leader. I don't determine what is right and wrong by looking at the budget of my organization. And I don't determine what is right and wrong by taking a Gallup poll of the majority opinion. And so because there's something wrong, our struggle must continue. And what we must see is that our nation's summers of riots are caused by our nation's winters of delay.
what your thoughts are on that one, Lady CoraleeKaren. I'm just going to reach out to you right away, and I'm just going to leave it on the table. What do you get from that little speech from Dr. King this morning?
You know that the more we desire change is the more we remain the same. The format just changes, and it's important because when you talk about mindfulness, it's the awareness that we talk about it. So from the two perspective, it's and again it's out there. It's we're talking about racism here, and so I'm not going to sugarcoat it. For those persons who are suffering from racism, you have to be aware that it exists. So it makes no sense to be an Oreo. So there are many people who present this facade that if you associate with those who are persecuting you, that they will stop. It's not, that doesn't work. And so if the color of your skin is what defines you in the eyes of others, pretending to be otherwise is not going to change the circumstance or the reality. And it's also from the other side of things. There are people, even today, what has happened is that it is more concealed. It has a different face. And I'll give you an example. There are two persons in a workplace. One is fairly new and he is Caucasian. The other one is training him because he's been there for a little while. And when a senior person from who is also Caucasian visits the office, it is the Caucasians who went out to lunch, and those are the things for me that tells us that it is still very much present today, and this is something that would have happened recently, and so the awareness is what gives you, and I think empowers you, because if you live in a fool's paradise, believing that it doesn't exist, then it will always be what I would say shackles you or handicaps you, because you're living in a space that everybody else around you is aware of what's going on and is operating in that framework except you. So for me, it is almost, the application of mindfulness is very much pertinent at this point in time.
And when you refuse to operate like that, you're seen as hostile.
Well, you know what? Again, there's so many ways to do it. It's you knowing what it is. You don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be,
it's considered
overtly.
It's considered passive aggressive. Passive aggressive. If I refuse to participate in it at all, somebody say, why I'm not chummy and jumping around and happy around while you're sidelining me in the front of me, and I'm supposed to be laughing with you. No, I'm not laughing with you.
Exactly. And what it, again, this is, for me, this is very practical, being mindful. If you are aware of it, don't let it be about what others think of you. If you know your worth, if you know what you bring to that situation and that space, be focused on it. Be intentional in how you operate. So if it is your workplace, make sure you go out there and do the best job possible, and don't allow the noise around you. And that's what it would represent in this case. It would try to distract you and detract you from what it is you're doing, because the moment you stop being the professional, being the achiever, that is what is going to cause them to say, well, see, I told you she couldn't do it. I told you he wasn't competent enough. Be focused, and when you're mindful, it allows you to block out all the things that would cause you not to be exceptional as an individual. Yes. And that is what's going to allow you to overcome, is my suggestion. When you look at all the persons who have achieved, it's not because they allowed what others think of them to stymie them or to handicap them.
You know, as you are here speaking, I realize that Lady Elise is not afflicted by any of this kind of thing. She has. she's far removed from this. She's never in an environment that it creates that atmosphere of that. And racism don't come just from Caucasian versus blacks. You know, it actually comes sometimes from blacks versus blacks. Racism is a heck of a thing to see, though, you know. But ladies, I don't think.
Yeah, but then it's the same concept of being the John Crow is what they call it, or Tim Crow.
John, no, it's Jim Crow.
Jim Crow. That's the word I'm
Well, you call it right. You said John Crow. I don't know why you come up with that name, but sorry, it's not John Crow. It's not John Crow. It's Jim Crow.
It's some J and some Crow.
It had to be a crow who came up with something like that.
Yeah, but then the point is that, you know, and sometimes that's the worst, which is why when I said an Oreo, it's somebody who wants to be what they're not, and what they're going to do is perpetrate the conditions that would allow them almost to be qualified or to be promoted. The truth is that you're not going to get invited to the parties. You're not going to be going to the social clubs. And you know, it's interesting because I believe it was reported. He didn't say it to me, and so at this point, disclaimer, it's hearsay. That, you know, Usain Bolt had made a comment that here he is, when he is on the world stage, there are people of all, you know, race and
color, creed
are clamoring to be with him. But when he's in the arena, when he comes off that track, he then becomes anybody else.
A normal, yeah. Yes.
You then become what people perceive you. I found it rather interesting that there was a game as in is an athletic meet, and Usain false started, and that was sufficient to clear the stadium. The race did not start, but by the time, as soon as people saw that he was no longer a part of it, they distanced themselves. They literally left the stadium. But guess what? He's the one who said these people are not going to be inviting him to the clubs. He's not going to be. And you hear instances of people like Oprah and those persons who, when you're in the box,
yes,
it is okay for you to be celebrated, but there is that glass ceiling, there's that glass door that is ironclad.
Well,
because the truth is that it still happens today.
It's
so
active.
Ignoring it is not going to make it go away, is what I'm saying.
And
be mindful.
I think a lot of persons. I would bring it even closer to Christianity, and this is where I'm going to go with it. You know that even within Christianity, we have churches that are white churches and black churches.
So true, and I remember.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
No, but I think it was my mom who was visiting the States, they decided that they were going to go to the church that was nearest to where they were, and that was what greeted them at the door. You know, I think you may be looking for the black church down the road.
You may be looking for the black church.
I'm not coming to a church, I'm coming to worship. And if we're worshiping God, then what does the color of my skin have to do with being in that space?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go. I don't hear Lady Elise made a comment yet, because I'm sure that she possibly is not. None of these things affect her, you know. And
that's not silence does not mean that, Mikey G. Silence means that she's waiting on the opportunity.
All right, I hear that. All right, I'm gonna stop talking now. Here's the opportunity. Lady Elise, I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I listened to the presentation, and the more things change, the more they remain the same. And one of the things that kind of stood out to me, though, was when Martin Luther said that, okay, we are the richest countries, and yet there's so much poverty. And so often we find this even in our different circumstances. A country may um, talk about wealth and improvement in the GDP and all the accomplishments, and yet there are persons who are homeless and hungry. And it speaks to what we kind of display. Things look beautiful on the inside, but then when you check and look through the back door, persons are suffering, and that's not a good place to be.
I'm telling you, when you said it a while ago, there's an African nation. Africa is a continent of wealth. And yet still, these people are the poorest on the planet. Now there's a young man who is on the world stage right now. I am not able to say his name now, but he's the youngest of the generals and military leader or president of one of those many countries, many states of Africa, which would be well rounded to say the United States of Africa, if can be united. And I'm telling you, the other day there was a situation where one of them wanted to attack him on some issues that was going on. The issue that was going on, he is being oppressed or being attacked based on the fact that he's making hospitals. He's making sure that the people get drinking water. They are having better schools for people to live. He's trying to provide jobs and industries, and he's a bad leader for that, right? And there are some other leaders who wanted to attack him. But guess what? Two other leaders joined him to prevent the attack on him. Now, you want to know that there's a puppet master somewhere. What he did was he went in and he took back the gold mines from those persons who would have captured it early in the day from the colonization of Africa and would have taken over their minerals. And he went and took back his mineral by force and controlled it now. And he's now mining it for himself. And this is something that is seen very bad for them to do. And I'm telling you, I looked at it and I'm watching it. I'm watching the world stage right now. And Africa is a budding place for some serious changes. And the people are uniting. The message needs to be clearer, but there's a puppet master. They says if you get a bottle and put 100 fire ants in there, and different types of ants in the bottle, and leave them in there, they will not fight each other. They will not even see each other as a problem. But if somebody takes the bottle and shake it violently, those ants will start killing and biting and eating and hurting each other, destroying themselves in that bottle. And somebody has shook the Africa bottle with those people down there violently. That's what I would say.
One of the things that came to my mind, is that Jesus said that the poor will always be with us. And so with that being said, it means that for those who have much, the true thing to do is, as the Bible says, take care of the widows, take care of the fatherless, take care of those who, that is the whole purpose for us being different. And that's what makes us Christians, right? Supposedly, is that what differentiates us is that we should be compassionate towards one another. And it is often, sometimes when you sit back or when you look back at how we treat each other, you wonder, are we really differentiating ourselves, or are we a part of the mass? Are we a part of the persecutors? Because even in the scenario that you presented just now, it just takes somebody who sees the vision to stand up, to be an advocate for those persons who do not have a voice. But again, there are going to always be the people who are saying, we need somebody who we can puppet, we can control them, because somebody has to work the mind, somebody. And so the more you hold that per string is the more you're able to fill it for yourself. Well, because you're pulling it from the persons who really need. So it means that there's that dependency syndrome that is what is going to be perpetuated.
I'm sorry to not be able to have the statistical report of how much money black people in the United States alone, I understand, spends or earns or hold in their hands. Billions. That if they were supposed to just invest it amongst themselves, they would be the 13th richest people or country in the entire world. I want to change it for a little bit for a little lighter note this morning. I want to share with us another side of what's happening, and to bring to us, this was shared with me just yesterday. I want to thank one of our VIP members to have shared it with somebody who shared it with me, and now I'm going to be sharing it with you. And so this is something that I really appreciate, and to know that this idea of who we are as a people is not lost in time. So I'm gonna share this one with you this morning.
I want to be a doctor.
Any field you would like to specialize in?
Neurology, cardiology, radiology, gynecology, pulmonary prevention and diagnostic.
How many bones are there in the body?
206.
What is the skeleton?
A skeleton is the framework that supports your body.
Do you know what bones do?
Bones make blood, bones store minerals, and bones protect your organs.
Which organs?
The skull protects the brain, and the ribcage protects the heart, the lungs, the kidney, and the stomach.
What minerals are stored up in the bones?
Calcium, copper, iodine, zinc, chromium, selenium, magnesium, vanadium, iron, potassium, boron, manganese, folic acid, inositol, and biotin.
Why do we need blood?
It transports oxygen and nutrients throughout all parts of your body and taking away waste to the kidneys.
And what does a kidney do with it?
The kidneys filter the waste products and excess water from your blood.
What is this excess water called?
Urine.
That's the scientific name, I suppose. What's the common name?
P. There are 3 types of blood cells.
What are they?
The red blood cells, the white blood cells, and the platelets.
The red blood cells.
The red blood cells carry oxygen to your cells and waste carbon dioxide away.
White blood cells do.
The white blood cells attack harmful bacteria in your body.
Platelets.
The platelets stop your blood from flowing if you have a cut.
Which is larger?
The white blood cells.
Which takes blood away from the heart to the kidneys?
The arteries.
The largest artery.
The aorta.
And where is it located?
Close to your heart.
What's the most important part of the brain?
Your cerebrum.
Why is that?
Because your memory is stored in your cerebrum. Because you have a cerebrum, you can recognize faces, talk, imagine, throw a ball, think logically, learn, make plans for the future.
What are the other parts of the human brain?
Your cerebellum, the thalamus, the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, the medulla, and the spinal cord.
The organs of the body.
The brain, the heart, the lungs, the kidney, the stomach, the liver, the intestines, and the skin.
Muscles.
The deltoid, the dorsal, the pectoral, the biceps, the triceps, the trapezius, the gluteus maximus, the extensor, the flexor, and the Achilles tendon.
The gluteus maximus, where is that located? Any muscles in our face?
Over 30 muscles are in your face.
Which are muscles used?
When you eat, when you talk, when you laugh, and when you smile.
And what types of muscles do we have?
There are 2 types of muscles, the voluntary and the involuntary muscles.
What's the scientific name of the nose bone?
Nasal bone.
And the cheekbone?
Zygoma.
Jawbone?
Maxilla.
Collarbone?
The clavicle.
Shoulder blade?
Scapula.
Hand bone?
The metacarpals.
Finger bone?
The phalanges.
Longest bone in the body?
The thigh bone.
The smallest bone?
The tiny surf bone in your ear.
What was the first world empire?
Babylon.
And what period is Babylon from?
605 BC to 538 BC.
Now the Bible did speak about Babylon, did it? And what method did it use to represent Babylon?
The head of gold.
No. Which part in the Bible can we find this?
Daniel chapter 2.
Chapter 2. So we have the head of gold representing Babylon, but there's also a beast that is used to represent Babylon.
The lion with the eagle's wings.
What does the wings represent?
Speed.
Who's the last king of Babylon?
King Belshazzar.
The first king.
King Nebuchadnezzar.
How did Babylon fall?
By King Belshazzar drinking from the sacred cups that his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple in Jerusalem. And King Belshazzar drank wine in them to praise the God of gold, silver, brass, iron, wood, and stone.
There are 4 kingdoms. What are the other 3 kingdoms?
Medo Persia, Greece, and Rome.
Specific events that happened in Rome.
Well, it was a Roman decree for Jesus to be born in Bethlehem, for all the children 2 years and younger to be killed. Roman soldiers who mocked Jesus and crucified him on a Roman cross. Roman nails that pierced his hands. Roman soldiers who guarded the 2 Roman soldiers who put a seal on him. Roman centurion who said, surely this was the Son of God.
What's so special about Jesus?
Because Jesus loves everybody and he died to save them.
In the book of Matthew, it speaks about the genealogy of Jesus Christ, starting from Adam.
Adam, Seth, Enosh, Canaan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah, Shem, Arphaxad, Selah, Eber, Peleg, Reu, Sirach, Nahor, Terah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Judah, Perez, Hezron, Ram, Aminadab, Nahshon, Salmon, Boaz, Obed, Jesse, King David, King Solomon, Rehoboam, Abijah, Asa, Jehoshaphat, Joram, Uzziah, Jotham, Hezekiah, Manasseh, Ammon, Josiah, Jeconiah, Salatiel, Zerubbabel, Abud, Eliakim, Azor, Zadok, Hakim, Eliud, Eleazar, Matan, Jacob, Joseph, husband of Mary, who was born Jesus, who is called Christ.
Here with Niall De Silva.
Wow. I would say no, sir.
You got it right with wow. You know,
Wow.
when you see, this is from memory. My thought was yes, and I would lift my hat to his parents as well, because it is clear that they would have exposed him to the Bible. So as much as he's able to recite, if you will, all the medical elements of our makeup, the fact that he is also aware, or he is also learned with regards to the Word of God is amazing. And it says to me that there is a community, maybe, if you want to put it like that.
There's a big thing
making sure that they are growing. The Bible says that you should grow children in the way of the Lord.
Train them up in the way that they should go, and when there is old, they should not depart.
And so and even the commandment that says you should honor your mother and your father, as long as so yes, you'll have long life, but the honoring of your mother and your father is as it relates to them guiding you in the way of the Lord. So it means therefore that he had parents or has parents who are ensuring that his education is also cemented in the Word of God. That is impressive. He's absolutely impressive. It didn't speak to his age, but he's clearly maybe, I would say 9, 10, but very much a young child who is obviously very, very brilliant. Very brilliant.
Lady CoraleeKaren, I would say to you that this morning it's an, when I hear a lot of people talk about, youngsters, they need more entertainment for them to stay within the church, be a part or to, and we start to talk about in the church and out of the church and whatever, as if it's a building. The church is not a building, it is actually people. The building, by naming it the church, has disenfranchised the entire thing of Christianity. Just mash it up. Because God's temple is nowhere to be found in all of that. Alright? And so we always refer to the church as people in a building, as a social club in there. And if you go in there, you are with them. And if you come out, you're not with them. The church, anywhere you are, is the church. While you're not the singular the church, you are the embodiment of a collective called the church, not the building. And we do this. And what you are listening to right now is to hear that children needs teaching and training, and if done, they will be what they are supposed to be. Instead, what we try to do is we try to give them more fun and give them more of what they have already gotten outside, instead of training them now to become more sound in the word and understanding. And you're not going to take away fun from studying. You're not going to take away joy from the thing, but you want to give more entertainment than to give the actual word, studying the word and the understanding the principles of why they are here. No, remember.
I would say to you,
yeah,
Mikey G, that my observation certainly is that it is less of giving and more of not giving, because we have gotten so busy as parents that we need to find an avenue to entertain our children. So we're not parenting them. Instead, what we're doing is allowing the devices to take on that role, because we do not have the time to do it. As a result, they are able to flip through. And it's impressive. I see children as young as 2. If you hand them a device, first of all, they're quiet, so that their call for attention is satisfied by handing them a device, and they are so proficient with it. I will dare say I am not as proficient, because they're able to move from one app or one program to the next, and they're able to manipulate themselves around the devices. And so what I would say to you is that because we are so busy, and again, it's one of the tools of the devil, we're so busy that we have stopped parenting. We have stopped being intentional and deliberate in making sure that the children are fed with the food that they should be.
So there's a lie.
We've left it up to Google, and
there's a lie that is being told, Lady CoraleeKaren. There's a lie that is being told that you can't teach them certain things right now. Today's program prove that the children are capable of hearing, understanding, and learning the things that they should know. And so we can't teach them this. We need to give them more milk to drink. The children are ready for hard food. They are ready to hear why they are what they are. They are ready to hear the whole. He was able to tell the genealogy of Christ from memory.
Mm-hmm. I remember having a conversation some years ago with Senator Floyd Morris, and even though he is visually impaired, he went up and he did such a wonderful presentation when he was visiting the Cayman Islands. And I asked him, how do you recall all of this information? And of course, what he reminded us, of course, we all have the potential to do that. But because we have our vision, we are more reliant on reading. So if we would train our minds to remember a lot of the bulk of the information, we are able to, but because we are so used to doing something and we take it for granted. So it's a similar situation with our children. They do have the ability to learn, but they have to be taught in the right way. That's a fact.
How if we are so careful to teach our children and to train them. They will be the set of kids that will be different from the regular set that you're seeing running around aimlessly and mindlessly, just taking the phone to do whatever. I have another clip I want to share, but I don't think the time is going to permit us to do it. I think we'll have to come back on Thursday for that one and do it with you. This is where we are. I believe that there is also something that came from it. When he talked about the whole aspect of, he asked him what brought down Babylon. He says that the king took the sacred vessels and drank from it. Do you realize how people don't think that there's any part of the temple that is sacred? The children run up and down on the podium and all these things, just run all over the place, and people just walk up there, and all sorts of persons go up there and present from the pulpit that is supposed to be separate. Somebody might say, Mikey G, you're living in a dark age. I don't know.
Well, while you ponder that, Mikey G, whether you know or you don't know, you mentioned that we need to take a break at this time. There is news as well that we should be hearing, and so after the break, we invite persons to stay with us because there is more to come. Remember, it's Mindful Monday. It's an opportunity to pause and take stock of what's going on with you. Mindful Monday. Well, stay tuned as we go for a short break at this time.
Looking to build your dream home or renovate your space? M&M Construction is the perfect place. We bring your vision to life with precision and quality craftsmanship. From design to construction, we guide you every step, ensuring seamless coordination and superior results. Our professional roof inspection and maintenance services will ensure that your roof is sturdy this hurricane season. So, if you are ready to start your construction journey, call us today at 345-927-7509. Build with confidence. Build with M&M Construction. 345-927-7509.
Good morning. It is Monday, March 24th, and these are the news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. I'm CoraleeKaren. Cayman International School attains International STEM certification. Cayman International School has made history as the first school laboratory outside the United States to earn a national certificate for STEM excellence from the U.S. National Institute of STEM Education. The certification process took 2 years and is revolutionizing how the school prepares students for STEM careers. Director Jim Urquhart emphasized the significance of STEM education in shaping Cayman's economic future from legal service to emerging industries. An event was held on Wednesday to celebrate the achievement, with attendees touring the new certified lab. The school met 27 rigorous criteria to receive the prestigious recognition. Osborne Bodden remains in election race despite nomination questions. Former Cabinet Minister Osborne Bodden is staying in the 2025 election race despite concerns over his nomination's validity. Bodden, representing the Caymanian Community Party in Boddentown West, was nominated by an elector who was not officially registered in the district. Election officials confirmed that while the issue was discovered after nomination day, there is no legal mechanism for the supervisor of elections to intervene at this stage. To qualify as a candidate, nominees must have their forms signed by at least 2 registered voters from their constituency. McTaggart leads conservation effort in BK Big Fish Tournament. Fishing has always been in Captain Jacob McTaggart's blood, but this year's BK Big Fish Tournament took his passion to a new level. Leading the conservation efforts, McTaggart and his team, Not Woken, caught and released 3 marlins, the most by any angler in the event. The team was awarded the Blue Marlin Releases title. McTaggart acknowledged the global decline in marlin populations but praised the tournament's catch and release initiative as a positive step toward conservation. Elizabethan Square demolition opens courtyard access. Downtown Georgetown is undergoing a major transformation. The eastern section of Columbus House at Elizabethan Square was demolished on Saturday to make way for a $5 million redevelopment project. The redevelopment, approved in June last year, aims to open up the interior courtyard to the public. The site, home to 5 buildings constructed in the 1980s, will be reimagined as a more accessible and inviting public space. And now to regional news. BPO sector helping school leavers find jobs, curb crime. Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce President Jason Russell has praised the business processing outsourcing sector for offering employment opportunities to young Jamaicans and reducing crime. Speaking at the Outsource to Jamaica Conference and Expo 2025, Russell highlighted the sector's impact in providing stable jobs for school leavers, steering them away from criminal activity. He commended the Global Services Association of Jamaica for its role in transforming lives through gainful employment. MFK wins historic parliamentary majority in Curacao. The Movimento Futura Cosura party has made history in Curacao by securing an absolute majority in parliament with 13 out of 21 seats. This unprecedented victory eliminates the need for coalition building, reshaping the country's political landscape. The Christian Democratic Party retained its 4 seats, while the Liberal PAR party suffered major losses, dropping from 4 seats to just 2. Caribbean athletes shine at World Indoor Championships. Caribbean sprinters showcased their talent at the World Indoor Sportsmanship in Nering, China. Antigua and Barbuda's Joelle Lloyd led the region's charge in the women's 60-meter semifinals, while Jamaica's Natasha Morrison, Trinidad and Tobago's Michelle A., and Bahamas' Camille Rutherford also competed strongly. On the men's side, Jamaica's Rowan Watson placed 5th in the 60-meter final, with Barbados' Julian Ford finishing 7th. Although no Caribbean athlete made it to the podium, their performance affirmed the region's sprinting excellence on the world stage. Social media helps capture suspect in BVI burglary spree. A man has been arrested in connection with multiple home invasions in the British Virgin Islands after social media videos helped identify him. Akeem Stevens, who has no fixed address, faces charges of burglary and attempted burglary after residents of Diamond Estate, Spooner's Estate, and Anderson Estate shared surveillance footage online. Commissioner of Police Jacqueline Vanderpool praised the public's swift action and reassured the community that misinformation regarding Stevens' alleged escape from custody was false. Those were your news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. Please continue to stay tuned throughout the day for more updates.
Looking to build your dream home or renovate your space? M&M Construction is the perfect place. We bring your vision to life with precision and quality craftsmanship. From design to construction, we guide you every step, ensuring seamless coordination and superior results. Our professional roof inspection and maintenance services will ensure that your roof is sturdy this hurricane season. So, if you are ready to start your construction journey, call us today at 345-927-7509. Build with confidence. Build with M&M Construction. 345-927-7509.
Welcome back to the breakfast hour, guys. It has been a very, very interesting morning so far.
Mindful Monday, for those who are just joining, and as we defined it, is you taking time out of life, actually, just to pause and exhale, just to remind yourself that you are important and that you are not to just get swept away by what's going on or the hustle and bustle of life, smelling the roses, if you will, So it's Mindful Monday.
Smelling a little bit of those roses. I take it a little bit from the news. We talked a little bit about is it stem cell research?
No, it's actually the school, Cayman International, the lab. It's about it says the U.S. National Institute of STEM Education. So it's talking about science, technology, engineering, and math. So it's putting together all the disciplines and having the students who are so inclined, their lab be certified, as it says, by the U.S. Institute. So it's something that requires or is something that is of note, because it is the only institution or lab outside of the US that has gotten such a recognition.
STEM education.
Yes.
And so what would it be doing? I think I need to look at that a little bit more.
Well, certainly, and maybe it would be necessary for us to bring in the teacher.
Yeah, to have the conversation on what this STEM education is all about and how it will
impact. What is, because again, it's 2 years and 27 criteria they had to satisfy, so it is no mean feat. And so it is something that is noteworthy one, and it makes sense for us to look at what was the process like, how did they achieve such notoriety in this regard.
Well, it is high time for election time. Choosing your minister of government and your representative in parliament. All of this going on right now, and the election comes up in April, I understand.
The 30th of April is elections here in the Cayman Islands. There are a number of states that are going through the election process. We saw where Curacao just completed theirs. Jamaica is preparing for theirs as well. There's a slew of election is very much in the air, in the Caribbean air, as it were. And with all that being said, I think it's necessary for us to recognize that we're not operating silo, but we need whoever is in charge of the government needs to be very clear as to what it is that they intend to do. I see where in Canada, where the baton was passed from Trudeau to Carney, and I found it interesting that their sentiments remain consistent. The Liberal Party is what they represent, or the institution that they represent. And what has made them popular is their pronouncement regarding the U.S. stance on making Canada a 51st state, the 51st state. I'm interested to see the exchanges.
You don't want to get. You know what? Come on, I'm going to bring a feature for you on that. I'm going to bring a feature on the 51st state of Canada, and what President Trudeau would have said And interestingly, it's a very interesting concept of thought that he brought across. I want to bring it. I'm going to bring a little clip from that tomorrow morning. Please don't let me forget. But one of our teachers from the Cayman Academy is actually. I was reminded that the Cayman Academy in the Cayman Island actually is a part of. Actually has their expo on this very exciting new tradition of math and technology within the Cayman Islands. Cayman Academy actually is already embarking in that area. So I was just informed just now by one of our teachers at that location and so we want to take the opportunity to talk to the person responsible or in charge at the Cayman Academy. Maybe I'm going to set a time for that so we can have that conversation. Maybe tomorrow morning would be nice to have her on. But
tomorrow is financial.
Financial, I know. It's financial, so I probably would have to get a quick interview.
Thursday?
Maybe a quick interview, like maybe, within a certain time. Maybe we could set it up a little
Mikey
bit.
Mikey G.
Come on. We could do it.
No.
We could do it. Alright. What I'm going to do is, guys, I promise you. I promise you.
ask you to not.
Alright. I promise you. I want to squeeze it in. It's important.
No.
Listen, when I hear.
I will say to you, I will take it from the position that it is something that we need to really spend time to understand what is emerging and how our students are playing such a pivotal role in the development in this area. So
you don't want to rush it. You don't want to rush it. All right. So let me see if I can.
Give them due time.
No, I believe.
What it is.
I believe
so we can understand it.
All right. I'm gonna take your advice this morning, Lady CoraleeKaren, and I'm thinking Thursday morning would be a very good time. I'm gonna bed it down for Thursday and see if we can anchor it down for Thursday morning, because I think Wednesday is also our health segment, and so I think
Wednesday, yes,
we could grab that on Thursday. We could talk to about the STEM research for the Cayman Islands from one of our teachers at the Cayman Academy. All right, right here in the Grand Cayman.
Absolutely.
All right, I think it's time for us to get out of here. Lady CoraleeKaren, you want to tell us what's going on across your side and how we should get out?
Well, I will stick with the theme of Mindful Monday and just to remind our listeners or viewers that you're important. And as busy as we have gotten in this day and age, in the 21st century, it is necessary for us to stop and consider, just smell the roses, consider our space. So as Lady Elise had said earlier, being on the hamster wheel, we need to hop off for a moment and just think about ourselves. If it means taking some time at the spa, meditating on the Word of God is another beautiful way to remind ourselves that we are wonderfully made, and so we're important to God. So we need to be protecting ourselves and not be slaves to even the world. So the encouragement is to be mindful this Monday.
Well, I would leave us with saying, remember guys, there are some things that are sacred and for just one purpose. You can't casually use it and say it don't matter, because it's a long time these things are going on. And because it has been happening, other persons have been doing it for a long time, we now come and do the same thing. We must find that there are some things that must be separated. And of course, training our children in the way they should go, not just telling them, but training, teaching. We should see a result that defines them and separates them from the gunk that you see around. And when I say gunk, it means that kind of processes of teaching, and any information just comes in and it just they're just mindless like most persons that goes on. Anything that comes in their heads, that's what they're told and what they believe. I'm going to bring a feature tomorrow morning that talks about what we hear and what we believe and how we believe it and why. So tomorrow morning, I want you to stay tuned for that little feature that I want to bring for you tomorrow morning. Of course, like, share, subscribe to Flashpoint Media. Of course, our radio continues to play all day today on www.flashpointmedia.ay. You can go there and find our radio and all our programs that we have done so far. Archive of programs all over. I want to say, keep it locked right here all day. It's going to be an awesome day spending it with Flashpoint today. Have yourself a great day.
Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and CoraleeKaren, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, we'll all sing better outside. Just us in the sky. Part of this circus, is it an A?
Hi, I'm Claude Edwards, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. You know, wherever I travel around the globe, I have access to Flashpoint Radio, and so should you. Flashpoint Radio,